Good afternoon, everyone. We are the Group 6, and I'm Joe Botero, and this is my co-researchers, Davey Saliente, Luijan Pipito, Lady Jean Baco, Dana Severa, and Jenny Basuka. In this video, we researchers are going to present our studies entitled The Impact of Gender-Sensitive Language of Grade 11 STEM Student in Barabon National High School. We created this visual presentation that will help you at this time what topic or studies are all about. So our topic for today is all about the impact of gender-sensitive language of grade 11 STEM student in Barabon National High School. Gender-sensitive language promotes equality and inclusion by challenging traditional gender norms and stereotypes. It recognizes gender diversity and uses inclusive terms to create a respectful language environment. Gender-sensitive language plays a significant role in creating an equitable society, dismantling stereotypes and bias, fostering inclusion, addressing intersectionality, and promoting cultural change. By embracing gender-neutral and inclusive language, we empower individuals, break down limitations, and strive for a future where everyone is seen and respected regardless of their gender identity. Statement of the problem. Number one, what are the prevailing gender biases and stereotypes embedded in language use within various domains such as education, workplace communication, media representation, and public discourse? What is the impact of gender-sensitive language on individuals' self-perception, identity development, and social interaction, particularly among marginalized genders? How does the use of gender-sensitive language in educational settings influence students' academic performance, engagement, and sense of belonging? What are the existing policies, guidelines, and practices related to the gender-sensitive language in educational institutions, and how effectively are they implemented? And lastly, what are the attitudes, beliefs, and perceptions of educators, administrators, and students regarding gender-sensitive language, and what factors contribute to their acceptance or resistance?
Parents. This study aims to explore the significance of gender-sensitive language in parent-child communication and its impact on children's socialization, identity development, and overall well-being, recognizing the crucial role parents play in shaping their children's attitudes and beliefs. This research seeks to promote awareness and understanding of the importance of using inclusive and non-biased language by investigating the attitudes, practices, and experience of parents regarding gender-sensitive language. This study aims to provide valuable insights and practical recommendations to enhance parental engagement in fostering a more inclusive environment for their children. Teachers. This study aims to investigate the significance of gender-sensitive language in educational settings and its impact on students' learning experiences, socializations, and academic outcomes, recognizing the influential role of teachers in shaping students' attitudes and perceptions. This research focuses on understanding the importance of adopting gender-sensitive language practices in teaching by exploring the attitudes, challenges, and strategies related to gender-sensitive language implementation. This study aims to provide teachers with valuable insights and practical recommendations to create inclusive and equitable learning environments. Students. This study seeks to examine the significance of gender-sensitive language in educational settings and its impact on students' experiences, sense of self, and academic outcomes, recognizing the power of language in shaping identity and social interactions. This research aims to empower students by promoting inclusive language practices that challenge gender biases and stereotypes. By investigating the implementation, challenges, and benefits of gender-sensitive language initiatives. This study aims to provide students, educators, and institutions with actionable strategies to foster a supportive and inclusive learning environment.
Future research. This study aims to identify and explore the emerging challenges and opportunities in the field of gender-sensitive language, providing a roadmap for future research endeavors. As societal understanding of gender continue to evolve. New complexities arise, necessitating a deeper examination of language practices and their impact on inclusivity and equality. By analyzing current gaps in knowledge, this research seeks to inspire and guide future investigation, paving the way for innovative approaches and insight in the domain of gender-sensitive language.
Scope and delineation of the study. This study will focus on examining the awareness, attitudes, and the practice related to gender-sensitive language among a specific population in Baruun. It will especially investigate the perceptions and behaviors of educators, students, and parents within selected schools in the Baruun area. The study will aim to explore the prevalence of gender biases, stereotypes, and discriminatory language in educational setting and assess the impact of gender-sensitive language practice on study, academic performance, social interactions, and overall well-being. It will also examine the existing policies and guidelines, if any, related to gender-sensitive language in the targeted schools. Anchor theory. Feminist linguistics explore the principles of feminist linguistics, which examines how language reflects and perpetuates inequalities. These frameworks highlight the importance of challenging gender biases in language and promoting inclusive linguistic practice. Gender inclusive language embrace the use of gender inclusive language to ensure that all gender are recognized and respected. This involves avoiding generic masculine terms and using gender neutral or inclusive alternatives. Additionally, consider using gender specific terms when necessary and appropriate. Intersexuality recognize that gender and intersect with other social identities such as race, ethnicity, class, and sexuality. Understand the importance of considering these intersections when using gender-sensitive language to avoid further marginalization or exclusion or individuals with multiple identities.
Related literature and studies. Gender and Language Smith et al. 2018 conducted a content analysis of advertisements in various media outlets revealing how gender language perpetuates stereotypes and enforces gender roles. Johnson 2019 examined the use of gendered language in classroom settings and its impact on student perceptions of gender roles and academic performance. Brown and Garcia 2020 explored workplace communication patterns and the influence of gendered language on power dynamics and career advancement opportunities. Feminist Linguistics Cameroon 2016 proposed a framework for feminist linguistic analysis, highlighting the need to challenge gender biases and embedded in language structures and vocabulary. Hiller and Bosman 2017 analyzed the representation of women in political discourse, emphasizing the role of language in shaping perceptions of female politicians, competence, and authority. Gender-neutral language, historic principles and guidelines. Researchers, other
we are here now on conceptual framework. There are two types of variables, independent variables and dependent variables. So first, we're going to independent variables. There are three types of independent variables: gender, language, and attitude. So first, gender. We are recognizing how gender influences certain outcomes or behaviors. We have chosen to manipulate gender by creating experimental conditions where participants are exposed to different stimuli or scenarios. Next, language. We're interested also in exploring how different aspects of language affects specific outcomes. We have designed experimental conditions where we manipulate language variables such as linguistic structures, word choices, and communication styles. And lastly, attitudes. We recognize that attitudes can be influenced by various factors, including external stimuli or information. Next, independent variables. Grade 11 STEM. In grade 11 STEM, in this case, it represents the specific population or group we are targeting for our research. We're interested in understanding how different independent variables affect or influence the particular group. Next is psychological impact. The psychological impact is the emotional, cognitive, and behavioral consequences or effects that individuals may experience in response in a specific stimuli or condition. And lastly, the behavior. In behavior refers to the actions, choices, or responses demonstrated by individuals in specific institutions or situations contexts. In our study, we are interested in investigating how various independent variable affects the behavior of grade 11 STEMs.
Methods of research. Content analysis systematically analyzes written or spoken text to identify patterns, themes, and biases related to gender. Surveys and questionnaires collect quantitative data on attitudes, perceptions, and behavior regarding gender-sensitive language. Qualitative interviews provide in-depth insights into individuals' perspective and experiences. Focus groups facilitate guided discussion to explore shared perspective on gender-sensitive language. Experimental research manipulates variables to study cause and effect relationship such as the impact of different language forms. Corpus linguistic analyzes large text collections to examine language patterns and changes over time. These methods offers quantitative and qualitative exploration of language use and its gender implication in various contexts.
Thank you so much for watching. We highly appreciate your attention to our presentation entitled The Impact of Gender-Sensitive Language of Grade 11 STEM Student in Barabon National High School. Our group is now ready for your question. Thank you once again. Good afternoon.
What is the relevance of your research study to the students of this generation?
The relevance of the research study titled The Impact of Gender-Sensitive Language of Grade 11 STEM Students in Barabon National High School is highly relevant to students of this generation because, more important, it promotes gender equality. In this era of increasing awareness and advocacy for gender equality, it is crucial to examine the impact of language on students' perceptions and attitudes. This study focused on gender-sensitive language, which aims to challenge and eliminate stereotypes, biases, and discrimination based on gender. By understanding the effects of gender-sensitive language, students can actively contribute to creating an inclusive and equal society. That's all.
What is your contribution or participation of the conduct of your research study?
Participation contributes to the scientific knowledge that benefits society. By volunteering to take part in research studies, research participants in this class have contributed to the knowledge of how we can currently treat this quality.
What is your research problem or gap that you want to explore or investigate through your research study?
The research problem or gap that we want to explore or investigate through through our research study, gender-sensitive language, is that investigate the value of using language that is sensitive to both gender equality and develop inclusion in a variety of social contexts, identifying and addressing gender biases in social attitudes, perceptions, and behaviors by ensuring that all pupils get equitable treatment and respect gender sensitivity and exclusivity promote equality. Regardless of gender or other variables, schools that place a high priority or these principles fosters a community where all students feel supported and appreciated.
What do you think is the impact of your research study to the people, the school, or the community as a whole?
The impact of our research study to the people, the school, and the community as a whole is that our research study aims to be inclusive and respectful toward all genders. By conducting research on this topic, the study can raise awareness about the importance of using language that recognizes and validates diverse identities. It can also provide insights into effective communication strategies that foster understanding, empathy, and respect across genders. It can contribute to fostering a more inclusive environment where individuals feel loved, respected, and acknowledged.
Okay, Davy. What are the problems you have met in terms of group collaboration or participation of each member of the group?
Our group's issue is that we have irresponsible members because the majority of them often skip our meetups and provide lame justification. Our group's main issue is that we don't have access to technology like a laptop or computer, making it difficult for us to compile of our work.
Loijan Pepito, here's your question. What is your motivation and reasons to conduct the study?
Boys and girls often interact with their foreign language studies in different ways. In general, when learning a foreign language in school, students engage with their studies for a variety of reasons. They may feel motivated to study by external factors such as the desire to follow rules or place teachers, primarily controlled by the people and events in their environment.